Black business and cannabis in Sacramento. What is going on? Peace. Good Sunday morning. Good morning to everyone. This is Chris from Sac Black Biz, the only channel on Facebook and Instagram connecting black business and black wealth for black people right here in Sacramento. Really quickly, I want to talk to the Sacramento black family about cannabis. Yes, cannabis. So this week we had some big developments and some big news go on here in Sacramento around cannabis. The city of Sacramento officially passed the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program, also known as CORE, C-O-R-E. The Cannabis Opportunity Reinvestment and Equity program, also known as CORE, C-O-R-E, was passed this week here in Sacramento by the Sacramento City Council by a vote of 6-0. And so what I want to do is talk to you really quickly about, one, what is CORE? What is that, right? What's it all about? What are some of the benefits of CORE? Who's eligible for CORE? And then what happens now? Like, what do we need to be doing right now? So really quickly, I want to talk about what CORE is and what its purpose is. And I'm going to read you from a document directly from the city of Sacramento explaining a little bit about what CORE is. So here goes. What is CORE, right? What is its purpose, right? So we already said that CORE stands for Cannabis Opportunity, Reinvestment, and Equity. So CORE. So the CORE program seeks to reduce the barriers of entry and participation for communities that have been negatively impacted by the disproportionate law enforcement of cannabis-related crimes, by providing them access to cannabis business resources and contracting and shareholding opportunities. So really this is an effort by the Sacramento City Council and by a large focused group of organizers here in Sacramento to make sure that those of us who were most negatively and most disproportionately and most disparately impacted by the war on drugs here in Sacramento, that we now benefit in some substantial way from the newly legalized and prospering cannabis business and industry here in Sacramento. And those most proportionally, most disparately, and most largely and most significantly impacted were Black and or African Americans here in Sacramento. There's no question about it. So this is an effort to push black businesses and black people into the cannabis industry now that it's legalized. So I want to read a little bit more of this so we can get a better idea. So the city of Sacramento has determined, based on its 2018 Cannabis Equity study, that a 2-year pilot program dedicated to aiding communities who were subject to criminal law enforcement of cannabis-related crimes at a disproportionate rate to their population within the city and, as a result, were negatively impacted is in the best interest of the city. As such, the city has adopted the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment and Equity program, also known as CORE. So the city passed CORE, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday of this week. It was probably Thursday, actually. And there are some rules about who's eligible for CORE. And I want to talk to you a little bit about who is eligible for CORE, right? Who are some of the individuals who can actually apply and then make use of the program. So there are two broad categories of kinds of people or kinds of entities that will be eligible for CORE. There are individuals that will be eligible, and then there are businesses. So I want to talk to you about the individuals who will be eligible for CORE. So there are a few different classifications and or criteria. I'm going to go through a couple of those right now, particularly as it relates to individuals, right? So who are the individuals that are going to be eligible for this CORE program? So first, a current or former resident of the city of Sacramento who previously resided or currently resides in a low-income household and was either a arrested or convicted for a cannabis-related crime in Sacramento between the years of 1980 and 2011, or is B, an immediate family member of an individual described above. So, if you are an individual here in Sacramento who currently resides here in Sacramento, or you are a former resident of Sacramento, and you currently or previously resided in a low-income household and were arrested or convicted for a cannabis-related crime in Sacramento between the years of 1980 and 2011, or you're an immediate family member of someone like that, then you are potentially eligible for the CORE program, the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program. You are potentially eligible to become a part of the benefits that the CORE program will give to those individuals. And I'll talk about some of the benefits in a few minutes. But let's continue with the criteria, right, and the eligibility. So who else is eligible? So number two, the second criteria or second classification for individuals who would be eligible for the CORE program. So I just read you the first classification or criteria. I'm going to read you the second one now. And that is a current or former resident of the city of Sacramento who has lived in a low-income household for at least 5 years between the years of 1980 and 2011 in the following zip codes: 95811, 95815, 95817, 95820, 95823, 95824, 95826, 95828, and 95818. So you may also be eligible for the CORE program if you are a current or former resident of the city and you've lived in a low-income household in one of those zip codes that I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago. And I'll go through them one more time. That's 95811, 95815, 95817, 95820, 95823, 95824, 95826, 95828, and 95818. So if you're an individual and you fit that criteria, you possibly are eligible and you possibly will be admitted into the CORE program. So those are the two classifications or criteria for individuals. I want to talk a little bit about what kinds of businesses would be eligible for the CORE program. So there are potentially businesses already in existence that are doing cannabis-related business that could be eligible for the CORE program right now. And I want to talk about what some of those businesses could be. So, a cannabis business eligible to participate in the CORE program is either A, a cannabis business with not less than 51% ownership by quote-unquote qualifying individuals. And qualifying individuals is just one of the two kinds of individuals that I just talked about. So qualifying individuals here means one or both of the kinds of individuals that I just talked about when I talked about what kinds of individuals would be eligible for the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program, or the CORE program. So a cannabis business with not less than 51% ownership by qualifying individuals that reside within the city district in which their business sits. If no such individuals exist, qualifying individuals from other applicable areas may be utilized. But the main point of that is, if you're an existing cannabis business, you could be eligible for the CORE program if your business has at least 51% ownership by one of the individuals that we talked about previously. There are some more kinds of businesses that could be eligible for the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program. Another one is a cannabis business that is a quote-unquote core incubator. Now here, the word incubate means to assist one or more participants that reside in the city district where the cannabis business sits, if any, to enter the cannabis industry by hosting, providing training, technical assistance, and general business assistance. So your business could be eligible for the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program if your business is a core incubator, what we call a core incubator. Another kind of business that could be eligible for the Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program, or the CORE program, is a so-called cannabis social enterprise with not less than 51% ownership by qualifying individuals. So again, qualifying individuals here means individuals that fit one or both of the criteria that we spoke about earlier when we talked about what the individual criteria was for the CORE program. So individuals can be eligible for the CORE program. Businesses can be eligible for the CORE program. They just have to fit the criteria. If you have any questions about the criteria, please leave a comment, send a message, and we will be happy to answer any questions you have. But I want to move on really quickly to talk about, well, actually, like, what are some of the benefits of the CORE program, right? Like, what do you get for being a member of this CORE program, this Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program? So, as quickly as I can, here are some examples of the benefits that you're going to get as a CORE participant. So the first benefit is $0 permit fee for business operating permits. So the city and the relevant agencies who deal with cannabis here in Sacramento and in California are going to process your business operating permits at $0. They're going to waive the fee for business operating permits. That's one of the first benefits that you get. The second benefit is you get priority processing of business operating permits and conditional use permits. So conditional use permits and business operating permits will be processed at a priority rate so business operating permits and conditional use permits will be processed at a priority rate and a priority level. So the third, or another example of the kind of benefits that you'll get as a CORE participant, are access to the CORE Business Support Center, which we will define at a later date, access to a host or incubator business, shared or hosted space to operate your business, and the final one here is, give me a moment here, okay, priority position for storefront dispensary permit lottery. So you'll be you'll have priority positioning for the next time the city authorizes or renews permits for dispensaries. So that's an example of some of the benefits that you'll get as a CORE participant. But there are actually some more benefits that I want to talk about right now. So the other benefits that you're possibly eligible for have to do more with, and I'll give a brief overview here as I get my notes up once again, but they have primarily to do with your business development. So give me a moment here. Let me pull my notes back up, and I'll talk specifically about what some of the business development and business training type benefits are of the CORE program. But you just heard what some of the other kinds of benefits are as a CORE participant and a CORE member. And again, CORE stands for Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity program, and that program was passed here in the city of Sacramento, I believe on Thursday, August 9th. So just happened, really. So here are some of the general CORE program benefits. Business plan development, business mentoring, coaching on access to capital, business needs assessment, loan readiness assessment, market assessment, data and research strategies and support, assistance with establishing your legal entity, and assistance with complying with all the rules and regulations that surround that, lease negotiation assistance, small business legal considerations, fiscal management, marketing and social media help, technical training, and employee training. So these are some of the general CORE benefits that you can expect to be having access to as a CORE participant. So again, CORE passed here in Sacramento on August 9th. What happens now, right? Like what's the next step, right? We've had a lot of people ask us, "Hey, I like what I'm hearing. What do I need to do to get involved in the business? What do I need to do to get and be a part of this," right? So here's what we have to do now. And I'm going to read you actually a statement from an organization here called Arise, which is, I believe, a part of the California Urban Partnership headed by Malachi Sekou Amen, who has been really in the lead on the charge here for getting Cannabis Equity and getting the CORE program passed. So I want to give a big shout out actually to Malachi and to the Cannabis and to the Cannabis Urban Partnership. No, the California Urban Partnership. Malachi, his team, and all of the others who helped push this past the finish line. Although we know we've got a lot of work to do now to get Black and African American business owners here in Sacramento a part of the program and actually receiving the benefits. So what happens now? So I'm gonna read you the statement from Arise, and then I'm gonna give you a link to a survey that I want you to complete if you are someone who wants to be involved in CORE. I'm gonna give you a link to a survey, and that's gonna be your first starting point for getting access to the program. So what happens now that the city of Sacramento passed the Cannabis Opportunity, Reinvestment, and Equity Program, or CORE, into law on August 9th. So now that the city has approved the program, it will take at least another few months for the city to get some basic processes and some systems in place so that people can submit their applications to run a legal marijuana business. So right now, it's going to take another few months for the city to get some basic systems and processes up. If a CORE eligible applicant does not need any business plan development, legal, operating space approval, or financial help, the city should be able to start reviewing that kind of applications 2 to 3 months from now. So if you're a business, if you're an already established cannabis entity, or if you're an applicant that doesn't need any business plan development help, legal help, operating space approval help, or financial help, the city should be able to start processing your kind of application 2 to 3 months from now. So for those of you who fit that category and you don't need that kind of help, 2 to 3 months from now is when you can expect for the city to be able to start processing your applications. Then, after that, the actual program services will have to be set up for all of the eligible people who do need the business plan development, the legal help, the operating space approval, and the financial help. So realistically, due to the amount of time it takes, the technical help will not be available until about January 2019. So January 2019 is when applicants who don't need that kind of first help that I talked about will be able to start being able to apply and be a part of the program. So January 2019 is realistically when we can expect for the city to have the systems and processes up in place to help those kinds of applicants. So if you're an applicant here who doesn't need that kind of help, you can expect in about 2 to 3 months for the city to be ready and able to process your application. If you're someone who needs the other kinds of help, then you would be expecting to wait until about January of 2019 to actually be able to get involved of the program. Now, I'm going to continue here reading the statement that we received from the California Urban Partnership and through Arise. Oh, and if you want to get more information on Arise or the California Urban Partnership, check them out on Facebook and check them out online. I think it's arise.org, and I know they have a Facebook page called arise.org. There's a Facebook group called Arise. And I think the California Urban Partnership has its own website and social media presence as well. But I'm going to keep reading here the statement that we got from Arise. And Arise and the California Urban Partnership were a big part of the reason that this CORE program actually happened. So there are some complexities with all of the local and state government rules and regulation, but anyone who is serious about getting into the legal weed business should not be intimidated. So There are a whole bunch of rules and regulations. I think if you were at City Council on August 9th, you saw the flow chart that Joe Devlin, who heads up the city's cannabis policy, showed, and the flow chart showed all the rules and regulations that you need to get, through to get involved in the legal weed business. Don't be intimidated by that. Okay? Do not be intimidated by all of the rules and regulations that you need to satisfy to get into the legal weed business. So, anyone who is serious about getting into the legal weed business should not be intimidated. That's why the California Urban Partnership fought for a year and a half to create CORE and have lawyers and business consultants who can guide and advise program participants through the process. So the California Urban Partnership has lawyers and business consultants who are here and ready to guide and advise program participants through the process. So those who have some very basic education, entrepreneurial drive, as well as willingness, aptitude, and discipline to learn and follow through with action will find many opportunities to survive and succeed. Any black person who is serious about getting a legal weed business license in the city of Sacramento should complete the survey. So I'm going to drop a link to the survey in the comments, and I'm also going to post the link to the survey as an actual post. So anyone who is serious about getting, any black person here in Sacramento who is serious about getting a legal weed business license in the city of Sacramento needs to complete that survey. And then the California Urban Partnership will be providing email, social media, and or a very limited amount of phone call updates to survey respondents over the next 1 to 2 months and beyond. So we're talking about next steps here, right? So the first next step is to make sure that you're serious about actually getting into the legal weed business. This is for serious applicants and serious participants. So if you're really serious about getting into the legal weed business, this is for you. So that's the first step, to make sure that you're really serious. The second step is to complete the survey that we're going to be providing a link to in the comments, and then also in and as a post here on Sac Black Biz, and then we'll be sharing it out over time. So that's the first and second step we need to do right now. So that's the right now on our agenda, on our plate right now, is to, one, make sure that we're serious about getting into the business before we start this process, and then complete the survey. At the end of the day, the city of Sacramento will have final authority for approving these business licenses. After they have had 2 months from August 9th, please do not be shy about calling 916-808-8925 to inquire about the CORE program application. In the meantime, complete the survey. So, the main point here, I think, is that the city of Sacramento has the final approval for approving the business licenses. But after 2 months, do not be shy. And I'm going to read here the number that we want you to call after 2 months, and we'll be repeating this number, so you don't need to memorize it or anything like that. But after they have had 2 months from August 9th, 2018, please do not be shy about calling 916-808-8925 to inquire about the CORE program application. So I want to circle back to what are our most immediate next steps. One, make sure that you're serious about getting into the legal weed industry. And then two, complete the survey that we're going to be linking to here on and at Sac Black Biz. If you have any questions about anything we've said so far about what the CORE program is, about who's eligible, about what the benefits are, about what the next steps are, feel free to reach out to myself here at Sac Black Biz. You can make a comment. You can send a message to the page. You can send a message to one of the groups that we're going to be posting this in. Find a way to get in contact with us here at Sac Black Biz. You can also reach out to the California Urban Partnership, and you can also reach out to arise.org. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out immediately. We want as many black business owners and as many African American business owners to be a part of this as we can. We saw from the city's own Nexus study, the city did its own study to see who was the most impacted by the so-called war on drugs and cannabis-related law enforcement. And Black and African American people were at the top of the list. So Black and African American people here in Sacramento need to be at the top of the list for the benefits of the new cannabis industry, and this helps do it. But right now, the door has been opened, and we need to rush the door. So this is Chris from Sac Black Biz, the only channel on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube soon that connects Black business and wealth for Black people right here in Sacramento. Again, we're here talking about CORE, Cannabis Opportunity and Reinvestment in Equity. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great Sunday. I'll be at the Banana Festival for today. We were at the Banana Festival yesterday. We had a great time. Banana Festival going on, I believe, till about 6 or 7 p.m. today at Lamb Park. A lot of Black businesses out there. Shout out to the organizers of the Banana Festival. It's been a great event so far. If you're not doing anything today, make sure you come out and check us out at the Banana Festival. Lamb Park, I believe, starts at 10, and I believe it'll go to about 6 o'clock today. So, once again, this is Chris from Sac Black Biz. Have a great day.